Hello everyone and welcome back to the Spearhead cast. With me, Matt. 1v1 for you all here on Arnhem Checkpoint on the Eastern Front. So I guess it's not an Arnhem Checkpoint, it's somewhere else. Let's go through the players. Represent the Soviets, we have Lucky Lieutenant Dan, straight out the gate with Modes Strelki Division for the Soviet Union, going for some conscripts and a rifle command early on, probably for some Frontoviki. Representing the Germans today, we have Duke Marmalade as propaganda tactics for the Waffen-SS. Going straight out the gate with double Volksturm. So propaganda allows you to get the Volksturm, which are a cheap militia unit for the Germans. So you can actually get some more field presence. They are, however, militia, so they are not the best of infantry as you would expect of them. But they can give you presence on the battlefields, which normally the Germans don't have that many commanders that can do. So you can kind of match the Soviets in terms of map capture weight, basically. You have the Sturm Pioneers holding up behind the fountain against the Sappers here. I think the Sturm Pioneers should win that handily, thanks to heavy cover and a long range. Once the Sturmgewehr gets working too, they'll probably just need some good bursts. It really depends. The Volksturm moving around to capture territory in the flanks. Yeah, I think the Sturm Pioneers will just fight their long range. It looks like the Sappers are actually doing decently behind that bell, but now they took a loss, which is a big deal. So the Sturm Pioneers are going to rush for the building. Oh, losing one guy, that's a big loss for them. Generally, it's bad for German squads, especially Sturm Pioneers, if they lose a unit early on, or a squad member. Conscripts going to charge up, there's not a lot of windows on that end. The conscripts are quickly rushing up behind the truck. A lot of movements from both sides, but the Soviets going to move into the center of the town. You might have the Volksturm relocating, but it looks like they're just going to keep taking control of the vineyards down here. We also have a Volksturm squad up here. We have 4 Volksturm! That is a lot of German militia here, and in desperation of this farmland and this little village town, to try and hold back the Soviets that keep charging in. Too many is going to try and flank here, get some good shots out, but it might be too many conscripts firing at it. They might be able to kill them. That's a Molotov though. Ooh, not looking good for the Sturm Pioneers. We do a Volksturm coming out. Oh, but the Sturm Pioneers do go down. That's a big loss for the Germans. Now we have Volksturm moving around to try and take up hold of the town. The best they can, anyway. A Volksturm will do pretty competent against the conscripts at long range, I think. However, once the Frontoviki start hitting the front line, that's going to be a very different story. Volksturm are not that good after all. But and conscripts are not good either. Conscripts just have a lot of numbers and are cheap. That's really their big deal. Still on guard inside the building. The force the Sappers to run off a little bit. Out on the open road, the Volksturm got some good shots off. Lots of Volksturm. We have 5 Volksturm squads. And a tech up going out for the Germans behind us. This is just a lot of Volksturm that are fighting for this area. Guess we're just really looking at the late war where the Germans are trying to hold some town somewhere. So far it's working out though, the Volksturm actually doing pretty decently against the Soviets. That might actually be their conscript squad, the Sappers also died. Oh my god, the Volksturm have done a great job here, holy shit. But now the Frontoviki are going to be arriving soon with their PPSHs. Which could potentially cause issues here for the Germans. Here's the PPSH, but they need to get behind cover. Oh, good steel hand grenade. The Soviets dodge it though. Not sure where they're going. They need to be behind cover. I would just stay behind the truck personally. Guess they're going up behind this sandbags. That will also work. Throwing a frag grenade. And that might be that Volksturm squad. Yeah, now the PPSA just start ripping. They definitely get some damage done. But the Soviet Frontoviki are in trouble here. The Volksturm are just so many and numerous. Frontoviki are pulling back though to heal. They have a medic station set up here by the Soviet Union. They can keep the fight going. And looks like this conscript squad is just slowly being attrition down by the Volksturm. We have some Belarusian irregulars called in now, so this is a very awkward fight going on here. With a lot of semi-civilian units around. Not sure there would be partisans fighting in areas with the Volksturm. I really don't think so, but we'll see what they can do. Yeah, the conscripts are still getting killed down here. They've actually got a good chunk out of the Volksturm as well, actually. The conscripts do pretty decently, actually. And the northern points are in Soviet hands, so the Soviets are not out of it yet, point-wise. Germans is relying a lot on the Volksturm. I wonder what the Belarusians are gonna do, because you can get some cheeky tricks with them. They've already been spotted here by the Volksturm inside the church. That's gonna make it so they can't really sneak up any time easily. I think they also consider militia stat-wise, so they're about the same stat-wise as like conscripts and Volksturm, basically. Also the Fonsviki moving up with the PBS Aegis. This could certainly be a problem here for the Volksturm. Ooh, still gonna in the way. They are very good at timing those, very good play. But the Russians just dodge it. Now the Russians move up with the PBS Aegis, already getting some good shots in the Volksturm. And the conscript's gonna move up as well. Volksturm is trying to move up here. Molotov in return. And the Belarusians are holding up the center. I don't think the Volksturm won that fight. But the conscripts seem to be not good at aiming at the moment. Oh, that grenade actually killed them. Oh, this is bad for the Soviets all of a sudden. So the Fonsoviki are going to be a very good call here. I think another squad of Fonsoviki would probably be a good idea. Belarusians might get overrun here. Belarusians might have smoke grenades, unlike most Soviet infantry, so they could actually throw smoke and get out of there. But no, they're just going to make a run for it, make them easy targets on the retreat. Looks like they might make it though as a Maxim comes up.
Our territory is falling into enemy
Maxim quickly sitting up here with its machine gun. And that's immediately going to cut into the Volksturm. Actually mowing down the squad entirely in seconds. We also have some Volksturm and Panzerjägers on the field. Looks like Duke Marmalade is going for mostly a Volksturm build at the moment. Lots of German late war militia forces. Volksturm are trying to secure the fuel up here. So far it's working out. But double Maxim now on the field will definitely be a problem for these Volksturm.
We are losing territory.
A little bit of an interesting 1v1 we have here. Not often I get 1v1s where people use some unorthodox tactics like this. I like to see all the Volksturm though. That's a very different build and really shows that propaganda can play very differently for the Waffen-SS. You don't have to worry so much about numbers as you can just pull Volksturm in. And the Volksturm are very cheap after all, so you can definitely sustain some manpower losses. Soviets are going to try and secure the fuel down here, but there's another Volksturm squad. Volksturm are absolutely everywhere. This might be that conscript. Gonna try and make a retreat, but I think they are easier to hit on the retreat. Most Soviet infantry are. That's why you see that icon that you need the retreat symbol. Basically, it's a mechanic for the Soviets, so they take more damage when they're retreating or are easier to hit. So you generally suffer more losses. Maxim inside the building here. Belarusians moving up to secure the center. They spot the Panzerjägers. Panzerjägers are throwing a Gewaltladung. Belarusians have just detected it. Oh, they don't astonish them though. There was also a mine here, apparently. But the Soviets are now getting a lot of equipment out to try and secure the rounds. Huh. Know that Maxim had like a suppressive fire ability. Interesting. I've never noticed that was actually a thing. So you get less accuracy, but you do more suppression? Very fascinating. The Soviets do have a medic station nearby, so that's why they can get the medics all the way out here. That will certainly help them. We also have a Dushka coming onto the field. Soviet have a machine gun, 50 caliber. We also have an SS veteran squad here in the field, a unique squad available to propaganda. You're going to have one of them at the field at a time. Generally a pretty damn good squad. Lots of Volksturm are now threatening into the town here. Maxim is doing his best to keep the Volksturm back. Volksturm are militia after all, so they will get suppressed fast, even behind heavy cover. But there's a lot of Volksturm, so they could try and envelop this little position. There's lack of Soviet infantry nearby to support. Yeah, we have a Volksturm that might be coming up to the flank there. But the Volksturm are getting pinned one by one. And when they are pinned, the only thing you can really do is retreat them.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
And that Maxim is doing a lot of work, holy shit. Yeah, start to fight the Volksturm want. Oh, it's actually doing suppressive fire now. Ah, but the Soviets, the Germans retreat. Soviet infantry setting southwards here. We also have a Dushka coming up. And now the PPSH is starting to start ripping into them. You see they already did some work. And you don't see a lot of mines being laid here by the Germans. Folkestone can lay mines, by the way, which is actually a very good usage of them, I found. They're laying some sandbags, though, as we can see. We also see a Puma come out. Okay, so we're gonna get some light vehicle play. Another Belarusian squad, so the Soviets going for several partisans as well. I like these builds. This is not the builds we see very often. I like it. Now the Dushka, I think, can actually deal with a Puma if it uses the armor-piercing bullets. And that's 300% more penetration at lower ranges. That's actually a big deal. We'll see how that turns out once the Puma hits the field and if it gets near the Dushka. We have several Folkestone that are preparing to move into the vineyards again. Veterans are just keeping an eye up here, being able to hold their fire so they can do ambushes. Belarusians are trying to secure more ground. But more Folkestone nearby to stop them. And so those partisans have to get out of there. A new sapper on the field so they can build up the Soviet base. This has actually been a very low-tech game so far, except the Waffen-SS has been able to take up behind most of this. Dushka setting up. Let's see the Volksturm from there. You will be able to see that Puma. And you can already see getting some shots through. Explosives being loaded on the Dushka. Oh, it went for the Frontenik instead. And the Dushka's not using its armor piercing. It took out the gun though there briefly. But this thing can auto-repair for some reason now, well, in combat, which is a little bit awkward. Most of them trying to flank up here on the high ground. And it's going to force the Puma back for a bit. The Folkestone will just duping around. Might force the Dushka to relocate, potentially. Got some more Belarusians around. Because we have an open blitz supply truck coming onto the field as well for the Waffen-SS. Wonder what they're planning. Oh, we also have a tank hunter team on the battlefield, armed with a PTRS, but they're being equipped with a bazooka. Not sure the bazooka is the best choice in this this moment. I think actually just getting the keeping the PTRS might be the best choice against the German light vehicles. I think we'll have to see. Puma's been repaired now. Tank hunters are moving around here. Moving into the center of town. Being suppressed, or will hit at by the Maxim. Explosive being loaded here. Didn't do a lot. Folkestone are getting mowed down immediately. Lots of Folkestone charging into the center of the town. Maxim is trying to do his best. Tank is trying to flank up here, but that's not really good. More Folkestone are coming to flank. Take them out. Steel Granada going towards the Maxim building. There's some good damage by the Steel Granada. More Soviet infantry is moving up to intercept with some Belarusian irregulars. This is definitely an intriguing battle. Yeah, if someone knows where there would have been some partisans, the Belarusians, that would have fought against the Folkestone, I suppose you're free to tell me in the comments. But I really don't think that was an engagement that ever happened. Puma's doing a lot of work here though for the Waffen-SS. You see the Valentine tank coming out for the Soviet Union shortly. Partisans are pulling back. And the Konsk is now being suppressed by the Puma. Just overall good usage of the Puma and all these Volksturm. It's such a different playstyle for the Waffen-SS. I like it. Oh, we have some Volksturm tank hunters nearby as well. We also have some Modern arriving here in an armored car to supplement the Valentine. Puma's arriving up here, but this is the 50 caliber. They just need to jump over the Odon. Or that happens. Valentine's gonna take a shot. Doesn't penetrate. That's lucky for the Puma. One's moving up here. Already being armed with an RPD, evidently. Be cautious though with that Valentine, because all folks do arrive with Panzerfausts. So they don't want to get too close. Ooh, that could already be a problem there. Oh, it looks like a message to back off in time. Needs to be very cautious though. Looks like the Waffen-SS veterans have been relocated. Like they are back at base to reinforce. Udon's getting some shots in with the RPD. The BAR model. Because of the SS Panzerjäger sneaking around. They can get close to a vehicle and then do a Panzerfaust assault on it. But they all three fire Panzerfaust at once. I think the Valentine knows where the Puma is. It's under hunt. We do have a Panzer IV coming onto the field as well. Yeah, he knows exactly where the Puma is. Oh, I see telemines. Okay, the Germans have been cheeky and preparing. So the Puma manages to back off. Valentine's just gonna back off before the SS Panzerjägers manage to spring there. Oh, it's standing still. Might be able to Panzerfaust ambush it here. If they notice. Lenkorber in the center. Yep, Panzerfaust ambush up here. Taking it out very quickly. Udon almost got killed. Probably by the veterans or something. Because they've also stolen a Maxim here. Panzer IV, I think, could certainly turn this fight around further in the Germans' favor. Definitely an interesting build here. Now, the J does not arrive with high explosive shells, so it's not the best dealing with infantry, unlike the H. Or the G for that matter. I think it's the G. We have a Sysgun coming out and another Valentine. And we have the SS veterans getting up behind the sandbags here with their scope Sturmgewehrs. Taking some good shots at the Udon. Already getting some good kills because the Udon are not actually in cover there. Out in the open. To make them an easy target. And the Germans are overrunning most of the front line thanks to the Volksturm. Yeah, storm of Volksturm at the moment. Dushka is doing its best here, but it's not really in the best position at the moment, I think. The side blocker is still a problem. Two of the other Valentine, and the Sysgun is almost arriving as well. And the SS is securing more of the map. Overall, very good play here from both players so far, I think, but the Volksturm play just seems to be so good in a 1v1 at the moment. Definitely gives the Waffen-SS the advantage of just having troops around. They normally would have trouble dealing with against the Soviets. But all the field presence is really good, and it also shows you don't actually need a lot of elite infantry to get the job done. Sometimes just good usage of poor quality infantry can be good enough. Looks like the veterans are pulling back after being hit by that Maxim. Our German Maxim is sitting up inside the church. Dushka is doing its best here, but it's not really hit much still. Because of the SS Panzerjäger sneaking up. There's been some good usage of the SS Panzerjäger, so I appreciate that. That's a unit we don't see people use too often. They mostly just get one and use it to try and get over a tank. They do have a lot of other light utility abilities, like the Gebaldeladner. And if you can get them very veterancy, as these guys actually are, you can actually equip them with some extra weapons, which can actually help. Well, the Belarusians are not doing too well. The Belarusian irregulars are just taking heavy losses. You might see a Gebaldeladung here in the Dushka. Once the Panzerjägers get close enough. So, yeah, here they come with the Gebaldeladung and then the Dushka moving up. Not Dushka, the Puma. Yeah, that was a very good usage of their abilities there and then coordination with the other units. Sysgun though got a good rear shot on the Puma, but the Puma can still move. Very good for that Puma. It's been very lucky today. Like bouncing a frontal Valentine shot for one, that's a really big deal. So the Valentine's just staying at the base for now, but it's finally on the move. Do see a tech up here for the Soviet Union. Now the question is what they will do with it. Because the Waffen-SS are just taking a lot of ground. And the Panzer IV is preparing to move with some more Volksturm supports. It looks like the Germans are definitely gonna win this one, at least from what I can predict. Just looking at it. As the Soviets do a sudden turnaround, this certainly looks like it's in the Waffen-SS's favor. This gun's sitting up here to try and deal with the Panzer IV, doesn't penetrate. I'm gonna try again. With a long range like that, it's not the easiest thing to do. More Belarusian irregulars present. Valentine went down over here thanks to the Puma, I think. Well, it might have been these, it might have been these Panzerjägers again. A good utilization of the SS Panzerjägers, the Volksturm ones, I mean. Those Volksturm Panzerjägers can do a lot of work by just sneaking up. You see a T-34 being prepared there by the Soviet Union, but I don't think it's gonna work with 2 Panzer IVs soon on the battlefield. Like, the Germans just overran the Soviets, which is weird to say, but that's what the Volksturm can allow you to do as the Waffen-SS. Veterans are getting some shots in the Sis here. The Sis is probably not gonna survive that for long due to the Scope Sturmgewehr. As I slowly pick at them, as you can see. Just overall a very good squad. And I also think it buffs the Volksturm by having them nearby. It's worth having around. Yeah, now the Soviets are actually about to be base locked, because if they lose that point, they cannot get any resources. Like, luckily Lieutenant Dan is trying their best here, but this is a very hard position to be in, I think. They literally just got out-manpowered by the Waffen-SS. Because they decided to use Volksturm over Sturmgrenadiers. And it really shows. Really shows you can play differently. T-34 running here. Trying to go after that Panzer IV. It's not a good fight for it though. The Suga misses. T-34 misses again. Be cautious though, there's gonna be more Panzer IVs arriving. With one penetration there almost kills it. And there it goes. Yeah, and luckily Lieutenant Dan surrenders at this point as the other Panzer IV arrives. Looks like the Germans managed to hold off for the Panzer support to arrive to stop this Soviet push. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one, everyone. Bye bye!